Here to keep the chase going, share information, spread unity, preserve our heritage and our culture. We're trying to achieve something that you just can't catch. We're always trying to find a better way, trying to make better dogs. That's what Dixie Doggers Podcast is. That's who we are.
This episode is brought to you by Rankin Ranch 38 Cattle Company. Marc Rankin specializes in Brahma and Brahma Cross cattle in Oglethorpe County, Georgia. You can contact him at 407-832-2077. 407-832-2077. This episode is also brought to you by Phil Wilson of UC Hunting Properties. If you're buying or selling land, farms, or hunting property, these folks know land. You can contact him at 678-791-3483, 678-791-3483, or visit his website down below in the description.
All right, everybody, we're back here again one more time. Dixie Doggers Podcast. After a long, hard day working, slaving for the man, we are here. Barely. We have a guest with us tonight. And he's been doing the same thing all day long. The man's been working. I've been harping on him all evening to get on here, and I won't give him a break. He's tried to get home. He's tried to eat supper, tried to do all that, and finally, I've got him harnessed. We got him roped. So we got Mr. Austin K with us tonight. Mm-hmm. How you doing, Austin?
Pretty good. How are y'all doing?
We are absolutely wonderful.
Good.
That's good. Good to hear. Yeah, but I'm doing good. It was. Well, yeah, like you just talked about, it was a long evening. Finally got some pizza and settled down for a second.
There you go. Well, tell our listeners out there, tell them a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, what you do. And then we'll roll into, basically how you got started and what led you to where you are and what you do now.
Yes, sir. So I guess if nobody's figured it out yet, my name is Austin K. I'm from and live in a small town in South Texas called Dilley, Texas. It's about an hour and a half or so south of San Antonio, down here on the border. And I've been here my whole life, kind of grew up hunting my whole life, and I hunt for a living, which is fortunate enough for me. I can make my own schedule and pretty much hog dog anytime I want to as well. And it opened up plenty of opportunities to hunt on some ranches that get hunted. So, I guess high class ranches for whitetail that have gotten me more into hog hunting and more access to land, which has helped that end a bunch as well. But I'm pretty much an outfitter, just hunt animals year round whenever we can and hog dog in between.
Good deal. So with being an outfitter, like you said, you kind of make your own schedule to be able to go run dogs and stuff. So, I mean, what kind of pack of dogs do you have? What breeds do you have? What do you prefer? You run bay dogs, rough dogs, or a little bit of all of it? Or what?
So right now, I've always, I guess up until I've had dogs for, 12 or 13 years of my life. And I got into it. My dad had hog dogs. My uncle had hog dogs. Both my grandpas had hog dogs, and cow dogs and blood dogs and everything in between. So it's kind of just, whenever I was old enough to understand what a dog was, it was a working dog. We didn't have very many pets around the house and stayed busy with dogs, and kind of just grew up in it. And not that I had to do it, but, wanted to do it, loved it, being around working dogs 24/7. So that's pretty much how I got into hog hunting and doing that kind of stuff. But the hunting stuff wise is, well, for the pack of dogs, up until about 4 years ago, where I was starting this conversation out at, all I had was really brush dogs. And down here where I'm at, we call them field dogs and brush dogs. I got a set of field dogs that only hunt the field, that pretty much catch anything under a spotlight. But at the second that hog hits a brush line or something, they're pretty much no good. They're just straight catch dogs, pretty much. Not bulldog, just cur dogs that are really, really rough.
Yeah.
And then I got a set of brush dogs that strictly only hunt brush, where you can cast them, you can rig them, you can do anything you want with those that don't ever touch the field. Because I I figured that out real quick. Whenever I was doing it, I'd swap in between, and whenever I was taking my good brush dogs to the fields, heck, they'd get lazy and just expect you to take them to the hog every single time. So next time you go hunt brush, they're sitting there, you turn them out of the truck and they're just sitting there looking at you, so I was like, man, I got to quit taking these to the fields.
Yeah. But they were looking, they're like, hey, last time we did this, it was just right there in the side of the road. So where's it at?
Oh yeah. Yeah. They get used to you just putting a spotlight on a hog and, you taking them and pretty much doing all the work for you except for catching it. But I got 2 sets of dogs like that right now, some field dogs and some brush dogs. And my field dogs are kind of just mixed breed, nothing specific, just dogs that'll catch out on anything with another dog with them. But my brush dogs, for the most part, they're all Parker cur, blackmouth cur, and blue tick.
Okay.
And they're all, most of them are a quarter blue tick, if not an eighth. I try to keep less than a quarter and less a hound in them, just so they're not as open.
Yeah.
Down here, I hear, people say all the time, well, you got an open dog, you can't catch a hog. I said earlier, both my grandpas, my dad, my uncle, so there's been hog hunters down here for 60 years. So every hog down here where I live knows what a dog is. And whether you got an open dog or not, as long as you got a dog that has bottom, you can pretty much catch any hog you want. It might be a long race, but you're going to get him.
Yeah. What do you consider a long race, Austin?
I mean, a longer race, probably 2 or 3 hours.
I got
you. If you're getting above that mark, which most of the time we don't, it's, more of just and there's not very many, but just the smarter hogs on some place, like the really smart hogs on some places where you're running them for 4 or 5 hours and then you just fresh pack them, pick up the dogs on the end of the race and water them and really, keep trying to keep putting fresh dogs on them.
Yeah.
But just a regular race down here on some hogs that don't know what dogs are very much. If you got a dog that can stick with a hog for a mile and a half, 2 miles, you can catch pretty much anything down here.
I think that's just about right for a lot of places that we've been. Speed, having speed and the bottom to stick with it for a couple of miles. I think within a couple of miles, you should be able to get it stopped. Usually, like some of the places we hunt, pretty steep terrain. Once it hits that 2 mile mark, where, like I said, this is where we're at. It's done hit a river, it's swimming the river or something like that, and we got to get the dogs back. If it makes it to that boundary line, basically, it wins.
Yeah.
If it don't, then it's ass is grass.
I don't mind it when it swims the river and they're like, I don't care. Because that river, I like the pig and I'm worried about it, but I don't want to go out there and swim and get it. I don't mind when they ban the
big
ponds.
Rivers,
I don't want to swim 100 yards out in the water. I ain't that mad.
That's just to go get it, but it's a few hundred wide. Or, like Mississippi River is a mile wide in places, and then Tennessee River, half mile, 3/4 of a mile wide. The Warrior River, half mile wide in places. I mean, once you get just the river that wide, it's not like you just jump in it and go across.
No.
So I don't, once they hit that, it's like, okay, come on back. Race is over. We'll go start another one.
Yeah.
But we've hunted with some guys here in the past year or two, man, that they'll, like, when I say all day, I'm talking about, we went with Logan Campbell. We had a 7-hour race. And I'm talking about hot, middle of summer, all day long. Went with Henry Williams. It was about a 5.5 hour race before we got caught up. And we caught the hog, but man, it's long races.
We'll be back after a quick break.
And now, thanks to the sponsors and friends of Dixie Doggers. Animal Housing Solutions.
Boars N Broads.
Crockett Taxidermy.
Hardcore Hog Dogs.
Southern Cross Cut Gear.
Ada Y Transport.
4L Kennels.
The American Doghorn Museum.
Unique Hound and Hunting Supply.
Hogbang.com.
Tuskers Magazine.
Mud Creek Hog Dog Trials.
Yeah, that's one thing. Back to y'all were just talking about river and stuff. Our rivers down here, y'all would laugh at. I mean,
I've seen some of them.
excuse me, our rivers are probably what are half of y'all's creeks. You know, the biggest river we got around here is the Frio River, and it's.
I know when I seen it, I was like, "That's it." It's like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not bullshitting when I say in some spots it's 12 foot wide, and that's what we call a river. That's a river.
Yeah.
You know,
ours there'll be tugboats on it, with fucking 50, 60 barges on it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you ain't gotta worry about no boats, not even little John boats on our rivers.
Oh shit.
No,
That's the kind of river.
That's our creeks. That's our creeks. We like it when we bay in the creek. I like it when I get up there in the creek because it's that cold mountain spring water. It'll be about 70 degrees in the summer and be up about your chest or your titties. You go in there and stick them. It'd be nice and cool.
Oh yeah.
It ain't bad then, but during the winter it's no fun because then it's extra cold.
Where were we at when we crossed we went down there with CJ. We went down to Taft. Are you familiar with Taft? Close to Port Aransas?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay, we went down there and hunted. We whitetail hunted down there several years, and there was a river down. I don't even know what it was. It's not a huge river or nothing, of course, and it's what he was talking about. He was like, "We're going to go right over to the river." We got there, and he said, "Don't laugh at the river, though." And it was just like a canal, is what it looked like to me, Yeah, but it was like there wasn't a lot of water there. Not exactly where we were at, but once we got closer to the Gulf, to the beach and to the marsh and stuff like that, of course it changed.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Now where I'm at, I'm not bullshitting you. If we catch 5 hogs a year in water, I'll kiss your ass.
Wow. We catch.
I'm serious.
5 out of 10s in water or more sometimes. Most of ours are going to be caught in water.
We don't hardly ever touch. I mean, we catch more hogs in water troughs for cattle than we do in stock tanks or anything.
Wow.
And I know me and you had talked about it for a little bit, Joey, on the phone the other day, or today or yesterday, that, I was telling you how much it rains down here a year. We get,
listen.
10 inches of rain where I live is annual. If we get 15 inches, like, we're thanking God,
Yeah, that's insane. That's annual. Like that, we have weeks like that.
Yeah, I'm like 15 inches in a week.
Yeah, weeks. Like sometimes it's just 1 week. It just rains and rains and rains.
There are some years we get 120 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, my town would be underwater.
Sometimes our town is, but good look. Like we got a lot of trees though.
Yep.
We got a lot of trees.
The terrain helps too.
Yes, it's built to shed water pretty effectively. As long as we don't have like a huge monster crazy rain, usually nothing happens. But usually only the city usually gets some flooding.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the rural towns, they don't really have anything. Just Jasper. Yeah. Jasper gets some flooding
because they don't have anywhere for the water
it's
to
built
run
in a
off.
swag. Like part of the
like
towns
there's none of the roads have ditches here.
Yeah, they don't ditch anything.
No, I don't know why.
The roads here are laughable. They're about just damn near buggy trails.
They suck.
Yeah.
Like anybody that's been here, they're like, dude, the road you live on is so rough. I'm like, shit, this is a nice one. It's like, this road's pretty damn smooth.
Yeah. It's only got a pothole every 6 foot instead of every 2.
Yeah.
We got the same roads down here. Problem with our roads is dang oil field traffic.
Oh, I bet.
We're dealing with oil field workers and 18-wheelers 24/7.
That's the way ours is with it. Ours is coal companies, coal mines, strip mining, and then the
logging,
underground mining, and some logging. They really they do damage on the roads for real. But at the same time, I mean, it's constantly whenever they move into town to a new area, they push the hogs around too. So sometimes it's not so bad.
Yeah, that's one thing we don't have to. Which I've been to. Let's see. I've been to Florida hog hunting a few times, and what them boys call it? Gosh dang. Or I guess where they'd go in there and strip a bunch of pines and then replant them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like the country, just driving around there where I hunted, it was, I guess, the panhandle of Florida, where you could just see as far as the eye could see in some spots, and then the next spot is just nothing but pine trees and thicket for as far as you could see.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, that's where the hogs live. Whenever they cut them pines, they'll move to another block.
Yeah, that's right. That's where we want to go. Like when we go to a new place, that's one of the first things we ask is like, do y'all have any pine thickets? And they're like, well, yeah. And I'm like, do y'all have any cutovers? And they're like, yeah, we got some cutovers. I'm like, well, that's where we want to go. And that's because that's where the hogs are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like I
Down
said,
here,
all y'all's brush
confusing.
is so hard and rough.
Everything wants to bite you.
It's like razor blades on everything.
I've had them same boys I was talking about in Florida. They've come to Texas and hunted with me, and I've had some boys from East Texas. I've had a few guys out of Louisiana come and hunt, and and I've seen it on Facebook a few times. People arguing about, oh, we got the thickest or we got the thickest, and the first time I went to Florida, that was a year before they came here. They said, well, we got briar thickets. I said, well, I got briar thickets too. I said, but one thing we got that y'all don't have is some serious cactus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we got...
Y'all's briars are a lot bigger and thicker and tougher.
We don't have very many, just on the...
Well, is it briars?
Back to the river thing, it's only on the rivers. Like if you get a quarter mile...
Black brush, is that what it is? Is it black brush?
Oh, yeah.
That
black
shit's
brush,
mean.
Yeah, that black brush will tear you up. And that black brush and white brush don't have no thorns on it. You can just kind of roll with it, as you're walking through it. But black brush, it has a thorn every inch on it, and it grows like vines.
Yeah. I look like somebody had massacred me. I look like I was cut with 47 knives at one time, and all I did was reach in.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even go to busting brush. I said, I'll piss on this.
And it's so green too. You can't hardly break it or try to, it catches everything. That's what, I'm sure y'all wear long sleeves every time y'all hunt, but heck, I don't even leave my house without a long sleeve Wrangler shirt on.
Yeah.
In case I have to walk through a patch of woods or something just throughout the day.
I done got to where I'm the same way. I wear a long sleeve shirt all the time. When I was younger, I don't know. I guess I just used to a lot of the briar thickets and stuff like that. And so, I never really wore a lot of shirts, or not, long sleeve shirts. But the older I get, though, it's like, dude, this is ridiculous. Because, like, I would be skinned up and scabbed up for weeks at a time. People would look at me, they're like, dude, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm all right.
Out there in them briars.
And that's what it would be like, literally, thorns and stuff off of those, especially like the blackberry briars. They get in my hands real bad, and then they get all festered up and shit, and you're walking around and I can't even move. I'm all swole up. And I'm like, yeah, a long sleeve shirt would probably help.
That's what I was going to say is you're wearing a long sleeve shirt. At least the only thing you got to worry about getting tore up is your hands instead of your arms and everything else.
Yes, indeed. The only thing about here is like wearing that long sleeve is like during the summer and spring, because we got such bad humidity, you'll start sweating and then it won't dry off of you. It'll get a little slimy if you ain't careful. Like your back will get like rub raw, like on your shoulder blades, or like your nipples will get rub raw sometimes if you're like sweating real heavy, because it won't dry out. It'll just be like, you'll be like swimming in it.
You're not drying
but
out.
It's better than being tore up.
Yeah.
But then when the wind...
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, you good. When the wind blows, it hits all that sweat and it feels nice and cool.
That's what I was about to say. We don't have humidity. We have a little bit, but not nowhere near as y'all have. But whenever you do sweat it, you got a breeze on you, and then you're definitely happy about wearing a long sleeve shirt, during summer and springtime.
Mm-hmm.
So with
cools you off, anyways.
With not having a lot of water, like in the summertime, that's where we're going. That's where we're going to go hunt. We're going to hit the creek bottoms or the river bottoms, somewhere where there's water. So how do you guys deal with that?
It's exactly what you just said. But I'll probably say our summertime hunting, is probably 100 times better than y'all, just because we go from having, let's say y'all have 100% of water right now, and we have 50% right now of water, or, you know, our levels or whatever. I'm just trying to come up with an example.
Yeah.
Summertime comes down. Well, now we just got, y'all got 50% of water and we got 5% of water. So our water source goes, all our tanks and stuff, you know, if we have 50 tanks, only 3 of them are going to have water on the ranch come summertime.
Oh.
So it goes down to where y'all are hunting a river that's, you know, you're hunting 10-mile stretch of river.
You can pinpoint it
hunting,
down.
I can hunt 3 tanks on 5,000 acres, and heck, you can go to that tank, catch a hog or 2 off of it, give it 30 minutes. You can come back 30 minutes later and jump another group or catch another boar hog off of it all night long, because there's just not much water. And we'll hunt, you know, like I was saying, them water troughs earlier. We catch more hogs in water troughs than we do ground tanks or ponds, because those never go dry because, you know, we got water lines and stuff run to them for cattle. But, you know, hunting water is all we do summertime, just like y'all. But it's a lot better because you can literally pinpoint where the hogs are going to be.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. And our rivers, I mean, heck, the Frio River, it ain't ran in 5 years. It's been dry for 5 years.
Damn.
And Uvalde at Concan, you know, where everybody likes to go float, it flows there, but I'm about 40 miles east of it, and it's dry by the time it gets here to me.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
But
I mean, just to be able to say, okay, because like we run into this a lot. We'll have so many places we know the hogs have been in the past few days. But then, like you said, like we're out here trying to check 25 spots. And you guys are checking, you know, 2 or 3 or 5, whatever. That would be, I could see where that would really up the odds on some of it.
I agree.
Oh, it does. Last year, it was about middle of summer. We went to hunt 6,000 acres. I got down the road, and heck, there's no water troughs on this place either. They don't run no cattle on it. It's just dry bone country, and they don't run no water lines to any tanks. Heck, we drove to every tank. There's probably 10 or 12 tanks on that place. Every one of them was dry, and you couldn't hardly find just an animal track on that 6,000 acres. Everything moved out.
I bet.
But you just add, like, you can get on the maps if you got a bunch of, like, a big chunk of country, you know, multiple places that touch each other down here, and you can get on the maps and just mark off all the tanks that are dry, and then mark all the ones that have water in them. And that's where, you know, if there's 20,000 acres right there of some low fence country, all them hogs are going to be around them 2 or 3 tanks that got water. Every one of them. There might be 1,000 hogs living right there in a mile square radius.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so we don't have a big population of hogs. Not in most areas. There's a few places in the state, like the further south you go, the bigger populations you'll find. Like where we're at, it's literally just pockets. And I mean, when I say pockets, you might have 1,000 acres in a whole county that might have a sounder of hogs on it.
Dang, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, like, and that's what I've told people in the past before. Like some of our dogs, like some of our cur dogs, they'll cast half, 3/4 of a mile when they're pups. When they really
they got to.
Exactly, their ass ain't gonna find nothing if they don't.
Yeah,
you know, it's a blessing and a curse, because there's times where, man, it's so frustrating and it's so hard. But then when we go to places where there are a good bit of hogs, man, them dogs usually show out, do pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the difference between my country and your country. Like earlier, I said I can cast my dogs down here. If y'all brought y'all's dogs down here, I bet you could send them any direction from anywhere I park, on any place I hunt, and you're gonna have a hog up on his feet in less than 300 yards.
Oh hell! Oh Lord! Yes.
On any place, and that's why for y'all it's so hard to start dogs. I'm just guessing. I'm talking out of my ass right now. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're
because
right.
Y'all don't have the amount of hogs, and to be casting young dogs, and heck, you might go 5 casts before you find anything, and all you're doing is not giving them young dogs the confidence they need. Being in hogs every time you cast them.
That's right.
Which down here you can cast them every time and catch 10 hogs out of a group and go half a mile down the road and strike another one.
Oh my God.
So when we going hunting?
Yeah, that's the next.
I told y'all where I live, Dilly, Texas.
I got some little yeller pups that need to. Which I'll be honest with you, like I said, we've got a few pups that we've been messing with. I mean, they're 7-8 months old. And I'll be honest, like we've put them on hogs every single time. They haven't stopped one yet, but they've been on hogs. So you know what I mean? But it's like there's times where we've had to wait 2 weeks on our property to know that the hogs were there before I ever loaded the puppies up.
Dang.
Oh yeah, I had to wait 2 to 3 weeks. So I've got cameras running, corn piles, and all this shit. And then I'm like, okay, the hogs are there. We need to go right now.
Yeah.
That's and see, we can't have a live hog. So I mean, if I could catch a couple of shoats, that would help a lot. And bring them home and play with the puppies. But I can't even do that.
Yeah.
How's y'all's laws lay out? Like, you can't, even if you're in the same county?
Upon capture, all feral swine must be killed upon capture anywhere in the state.
Dang. Is that why y'all?
There's.
Well, how do y'all do? Sorry. How do y'all do? Do y'all do any bait stuff?
No, it's illegal in the entire state.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I travel to go do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That makes sense now.
That's what I told people. I said, just imagine if we could have all that. We would actually probably have pretty good dogs. I mean, I'm not saying we have bad dogs because we compete at a very high level at everything. So we're very blessed to have the dogs that we have. But it's like, if we could do this, like if I could have a bay pen set up in my backyard, it might be a different story.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can show them hogs way before they ever get the confidence to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Leave the truck or follow old dogs,
You know how many times I bay my pro pen dogs a year? At however many bay pens I go to. That's the only times.
Oh yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And everybody thought they were like, yeah, right. I'm like, cause like we've won several with them. I'm like, they don't know what even a damn hog is. They just
you can't
naturally
practice with them.
Yeah. So I take them to the woods now, though.
I bet you can.
Go ahead.
That caliber, not caliber, but the amount of hogs y'all have, it would be kind of cool if you brought them to my kind of country to see. We caught that freeze hit middle of last week. It was like Tuesday and Wednesday. It snowed down here. Yeah. We caught 39 hogs in 2 days on like 2,500 acres. You
would catch 3 hogs here probably.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, if you brought the dogs that have not struggled, but had to try 10 times harder than mine because the amount of hogs y'all have, I would like to lay my eyes on them down here in this country.
Like we carried some to, and a lot of this is just the breeding, the line of dogs that we have and the breedings that we've done over the years. We carried some dogs to Arkansas this past weekend. We carried a little Kimmer female. She's never left the yard, period. She's never seen a pig. She wouldn't even come out of the dog box the first night.
Yeah.
Or the first day. Well, by that night, she come out of the dog box a little bit. She milled around our feet for, 20 yards, 50 yards. Then she got out to 100 yards. She's over there barking at night. She's booger barking in the woods. And we're not paying her any attention. Well, Nathan and Braxton are walking up. They run into a little sounder of piglets, a whole litter of piglets. That dog had been standing there barking at those pigs for 30 minutes. None of us even paid attention to her because she had never seen a pig, but she naturally bayed those pigs.
Yeah.
And then the next day, she cast 300 yards plus and was running in the race. Had still never been on a race, never been to a pig. So that's why I was thinking, I was like, man, if I could go to a place like that, I don't know that I'd bring any seasoned dogs. I would bring nothing but puppies, dogs that had never seen it. I'd be like, let's see what they'll do. Mm-hmm. But I would like to bring, like we've went out there with Carter and Ryan and Kevin Brooks and them. And like our dogs, they don't have to cast that far out there, they have a bigger population of hogs, and we've done good every time that we've went and hunted with them.
Yeah. That's what, I say. I cast my dogs but they only go 500 yards max, and I already got a boar hog up on his feet and moving.
Wow.
They ain't got to go a mile. You go a mile, you're passing up a lot of hogs if they got to travel a mile.
Oh man.
And down here, what is the advantage too?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this country that I hunt pretty often, which there's a boy that came and hunted with me during that freeze last week. I told him, I said, I know every thicket on this 2,500 acres, and there'll be 50-acre thickets. Not even very big. We just send a dog in there, and if there ain't a hog there, all right, let's load up. Let's go to the next thicket. And I've just hunted it pretty often. I can take you straight to where the hogs are and live. If they ain't in one thicket, all right, they're in this one. If they ain't in this one, all right, they're in this one. So you're not wasting dogs' legs casting them most of the time. You getting them in hogs, and it would be pretty dang cool to see what kind of, if you brought pups, to see what they could produce.
Yeah, I'm really digging this too, because like I said, I've got a couple of green dogs that, like, one of them's my pro bay pen dog. He's never really hunted. We got a foxhound he's only been this weekend was the second time he ever hunted, and I mean, this dude was toting a male averaging 20 plus miles an hour for miles.
Dang.
Oh yeah, there was 5 hounds in there, 4 hounds, 2 red ticks, a blue tick, and a walker dog. And then we put our dog in there. I was like, well, they're hounds. I'll put him in there with them, just see how he does. Well, he figured the track out, run off, left them. And then we started getting pictures from game cameras on the other side of the damn county. And here he goes. There's a hog comes in front of the camera, and then here comes the dog.
Dang.
Yeah, and
that's crazy.
And the night before, him and my bay pen dog, they were running with one of Braxton's dogs. Well, they get a hog bayed. Like I said, now keep in mind, these dogs have never been they've never even seen a hog.
Yeah.
The foxhound never has seen a pig, period. And second cast, I think it was a little over a mile and a half. And he sets down bayed. And then one of my pro pen dog, he made the race with him, sets down bayed. So, like I said, and we hunted hard. I think we wound up catching 4 or 5 all weekend. We caught, y'all caught some little ones, and then we caught a pretty good couple sows, I think. And we didn't catch a bunch, but like I said, we were in the hogs, and those hogs run far and deep.
Yeah.
So, like I said, going somewhere to where, now keep in mind, like this dog, when he went in there and got on the track, it was around 400 yards in, and he was nearly a mile deep before he got him up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'd love to see what he could do if he could get in there at 400 or 500 yards and get one up.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could take you to thicket on most places. And hell, last week when we hunted, I pulled up to this thicket at daylight, and I said, the hogs are going to be right here. Sent a dog in there, 35 yards, sat down and bait. Caught our first boar hog. but most of the country around it is.
That happens.
But most of the country around it is pretty open. So like that's why you can pinpoint thickets. White brush thicket or a black brush thicket that's where they're going to be. There's nowhere else for them, and everything else around it is just regrowth mesquite and shin high grass. Well, you just find your way to the thickets, and if he ain't in this one, he's in the next one. If he ain't in that one, he's in the next one.
That sounds a lot like I was telling Nathan and Rodney when we were going to Arkansas in the Delta part of it on the Mississippi River. Of course, now it's really populated with people and stuff. But there's still a lot of open country, and you'll see just big cotton fields, big bean fields, rice fields, and then you'll see this little strip, this little thicket. And that's what I told him. I was like, when I was young, we would have went to that thicket, and we would have burned some deer's ass up, rabbits, squirt, whatever, because they don't have anywhere else to go. That's where they're going to be. So that's the same way with the hogs out there.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's like just identical.
Yeah, we'll be coming.
That's why it's not it's so much easier, and I can travel with live hogs and do anything as long as I stay within the county with them.
Yeah.
I can travel with live hogs. If I leave the county, I got to get a permit, but that don't cost but $25.
Yeah.
And
Now is that an annual
I can
permit?
take. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Well,
Which I've never got one before. I mean, like we got so many hogs down here compared to y'all's, and game wardens don't even care.
I imagine not.
There's hogs on every single ranch down here.
They probably
even
get
in
tired
high
of getting
fences.
calls. They probably don't care at all.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, well, it helps me out a little bit. I got a game warden that's married into my family, and he stopped me one day. He said, where are you taking all these hogs? Oh, a ranch down here, sell them to a high fence place.
Yeah.
Well, that's 2 counties over. So, well, gosh dang, there's 3 million hogs between here and there. What's it matter? You know?
Yeah. Exactly. What are you gonna do? Populate the place?
Yeah, it's not going to change nothing.
Yeah. That's what was so weird about when they changed our laws here. We could see that what I said a while ago. Can't have a live hog. Can't do any of that. Before, we could do there was no rules. You could do whatever you wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, well, all 60, how many counties we got? 67?
62,
60,
65.
whatever. However many
Between
counties we
60
got.
and 70 counties, allegedly.
All the they had a thing that came out and said, well, all the counties are populated with hogs. They've been seen in every county. So now we're going to make it illegal to transport a hog off the property that it's caught on. So, okay, so we could deal with that. Well, then they made it the next year. They just like, okay, then we done away with that. And it's like, okay, you can't have one at all. Now you got to kill every hog that you catch. And that's
crazy.
Yes, it's frustrating because, like I said, when I first started doing this, there was hardly anybody that ran dogs where we live. I mean, within like 3 or 4 counties, there was hardly anybody.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And so it's kind of like we did what we wanted to do, And back then, the hogs, they would take a bay. If you went to a place that had hogs, you didn't have to run them.
Yeah, they never got messed with until you were the one that messed with them.
That's right. And then it was like, so it was pretty easy. I felt like it was a lot easier then. You hear people always say, like, you're always trying to improve your best dogs and this and that. I had some really, really good dogs then. And we've got good dogs now. But I feel like some of the dogs we had then were at a higher level than these are.
Yeah.
But they were able to be trained a different way.
Yeah.
The
hogs are a lot more educated now.
Oh yeah, it's a whole different world now.
Yeah, heck, me and my uncle were talking about it the other day, and just like you said, whenever he had dogs, whenever he was 19, 20, 21 years old, there wasn't one hog hunter per county, and anywhere you go, you could catch a hog no matter what, and he wouldn't run very far. You catch him in 5 minutes anywhere you go. Nowadays, heck, there's 100 hog hunters that live in this 3,000 acre populated town I live in.
Damn.
I'm over exaggerating, but there's probably 15 hog hunters in this town right here, and we're all, if I ain't running them, they're running them, and just educating every hog.
That's got to make it tough.
No, it does. And we're back then oh heck no, they don't. Hogs are heck. Even with I do a bunch of helicopter hog hunts on some country that hogs run real hard on, and I'll chum them up with corn the roads and get them come in here, and we'll fly the helicopter just to try to kill those genetics out. But like that place, for example, I'm bringing up the helicopter hog hunt. We went in there and hog dogged it for a tournament. That place, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and we caught like 37 hogs, 27 hogs, I think, in 2 days. And it's hard. I mean, it's 3 or 4 or 5 mile races before you get a bay. And if you get a bay, you better not miss him with bulldogs, because he ain't going to give you another chance.
Damn.
And it was Saturday, Sunday, we dogged it. They flew the helicopter Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and flown from daylight till dark and killed 7 hogs with a helicopter. And
wow.
we went back in there like 3 days after they flew it and caught 11 more hogs with dogs. My point is, down here, they get flown so much with helicopters.
They
They know
know.
what a helicopter is.
Yeah.
They hear them blades chopping. They done figured out, heck, if I just sit right here and don't move, they won't find me. And it's crazy. Them
they're
hogs are
smart.
smart.
Well, that's
Very
like
smart.
the corn feeders. Okay, like everybody here. Well, I'm going to say everybody, but the majority of people here have just started baiting in the past couple of years. They passed the baiting bill where you pay $15 a year and you get it on your license and you can bait deer and hogs. Okay, so I've noticed in the past few years that there's, a lot of people are putting the little timer feeders up, and that's where they draw the hogs in and they shoot them. They shoot them under the feeders.
Yep.
Well, I was telling Rodney. Rodney, he used to run feeders all the time, and he kept asking me, he's like, "Why don't you run the feeders?" I was like, "I don't. I'm just not going to." He said, finally he kept on. But I'll bait. Look, I got a corn slinger I'll put on the truck and corn the roads, and I'll go if I want to try to draw them in and teach a puppy how to rig. That's how I'm gonna do it. But
Yep.
But anyway, I kept telling him. So we got one spot. We hung this feeder up. It doesn't have legs on it. We hung it up in a tree. And this is no joke. That place right there, I've had hogs continually coming in for 4 years without fail. We hung that feeder up, and we've only seen hogs 2 times in I don't know how many months. We hung it up back in the summer. And they will come out and they will not eat under that feeder. They'll stand back from it. And he was like, "Well, it must not be throwing corn on it." And I said, "No, they're used to getting shot at under them feeders. They know that feeder hasn't been here and they're trying to figure out what's going on with it." I don't have a single daytime picture of a pig either. Used to, I got them all the time. Now I don't have none.
People don't give them hogs credit.
Do you think
some of these
that's a
smartest
possibility?
animals.
What I was just talking about? Exactly.
100%.
There you go.
Oh, that's 110%.
Yeah. I'm just curious if you ever ran into anything like that, because there's a lot of folks around here. I've traveled and went a lot of places, and I've talked to hundreds, if not thousands, of hunters, and I try to educate myself as much as I can. But there's a lot of guys here, they haven't done that, and so when I'm talking, they think I'm just bullshitting. I'm like, no, this has been done. Like I'm not making this up. These are things that I've talked to people and they've dealt with on how smart these hogs are.
Yep.
And like you said, if they've been flown with a helicopter that many times, to where when you fly a damn helicopter and you only shoot 7 hogs, and then you go in the same place and catch twice as many with dogs, they're listening.
That's why my buddy Oliver, he's a USDA trapper up in Missouri. And so, that's what his job is when they're not trapping, is he's flying the drone. So what they're doing is flying the drone and using it as like a scouter for the helicopter. So Oliver's job is to mark and then send the helicopter pilot coordinate and say they're in this thicket. So I thought that was pretty sick.
Yep. That's
until they figure that out.
Smart.
Yeah. Until they figure out the drone blades and then they get up and move.
They'll figure it out.
Oh, yeah, they will.
If a human can hear it, they can hear it.
For sure.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy, them hogs. And you can, like you said, you know where they're, that place. I've hunted it for so long, and it's been dogs for so long. I know where the hogs are in the thickets, and I'll tell them, go fly right there. You'll jump a big group. There's 20, 30 live in that sucker. Now go fly it for an hour and come back with it. There ain't no hogs in there. I guarantee you there is. Some missus just outsmarted y'all.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yep. They know what a helicopter is, and they know what that bang comes from it as well. Whenever y'all start chasing them.
That's exactly right.
All it takes is one sow while they're running away to squat under a bush, and then she realizes, oh shit, if I just do this every time, I won't get messed with. Mm-hmm. And there you go. She teaches all her youngins and everything else how to do it.
Nate, tell them about what happened the other night with those little piglets.
Oh yeah.
You talking about them squatting?
Oh yeah. So we down here and we can hear like these little pigs like coming through the woods and they're like they're making like the little bitty pig sounds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
they,
then-
they were
So like
pocket size.
and like we would just and like both of our lights were going dead. Braxton and our lights were both going dead. And so like you can just see like little bits of grass like shaking because it was like right on the edge of a hardwood thicket going into a cutover, like a little sage field. And like, so we shine the light, we see a couple pigs. Braxton gets one, and I see this little red spotted boar one, and he's laid completely out, like his back legs out, and he's just like laid like stiff as a board, and he's just like not moving a muscle. I just go in there and like pick him up, and then he's like starts squirming. I was like, I got you, buddy. I was like,
So
"No."
how do you think they learned that though?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because
That's
that
tall.
sow, because then
We
at
caught
later,
the sow later.
we caught the sow later, and what did she do? She slung the bulldog.
Unsquatted.
Run down the hill. They jumped the creek. She squatted up in the bank.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
just squatted down in
Like
the water.
literally, she hit the little
Braxton
creek.
caught the sow.
Yeah. Like, I mean, the dogs actually were hung on her, and like it was on the side of this big, pretty steep hill,
Mm-hmm.
and all hell just broke loose.
It was in like some little yearling hickories, like
Yeah.
a bunch of just like little hard
And
twigs.
dog got knocked loose.
Yeah, like scooped up under.
She
and,
didn't
like,
really
flipped.
get a good bite though. But anyway,
When she hit her, like the pig spun up under and like bucked her basically,
Yep.
and it just slung her.
But like I said, the hog didn't go anywhere,
Mm-mm.
and all the dogs like went right past her.
Yep.
That
Oh, yeah.
people just don't realize. I wonder how many hogs our dogs actually do go by.
Yeah.
Not intentionally. They're not blowing out of the country running past the hog, but they're in there looking or searching, trying to find these hogs, and these hogs just squat.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I've had it. Let's see. Me and a buddy of mine were talking about that the other day while we were hunting. We had it happen to us. Trying to think. We'd run we'd got a decent race, and we were running. We jumped a group of hogs, and we were running some sows around and stuff like that. Well, they dumped us on a boar hog, pretty good one too. And most of the time it's backwards. You know, boar hog dumps you on a group of sows or something. But sow ran off into a thicket. They sat down and bayed, and I told him, I said, "Look, I said it'd be nice we walk over here and it's a big old boar hog. You know, that's 1 in 100. Send bulldogs." He slung them, and he went back to the same thicket we jumped them sows in about half a mile away, and dumped us back on them sows.
Oh, shit.
But it's crazy because them hogs, like you can jump a boar hog in his bed and he might run a mile before he dumps you off on a group of hogs. But it's crazy how them boar hogs know exactly where them group of hogs are
Yeah,
to dump you on.
I agree.
Y'all ever thought about that? Like it might be 2 miles later, it might be
Yep.
300 yards
Mhm.
or 3 miles later, but he's going straight to a group of hogs, and he knows they're there, and he's gonna dump you on them.
Without a doubt.
You know, but it's crazy how them hogs know that.
Mhm.
You know, to find
It's so,
other hogs. It'd be 2:00 in the afternoon. It's like, how'd you know they were laid up over there?
Mhm.
and it's like, I wonder if it's more like in his mind, which like, of course you can't tell what the pig's thinking, but is it more like I'm running in here and I'm bunching up with them to like maybe get like protection of the herd, so we can pack up against the dogs, or is it more like, man, maybe they'll get these other motherfuckers and like leave me alone?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't ever know, but that's.
Yeah.
But like he
Like,
said, with the sow doing that,
Yeah.
that goes to
Yeah,
show you how
sow done
smart
it.
they are and how
Mhm.
much
Yeah.
pressure they have on them.
Mm-hmm.
When sows are
Yeah.
doing that, them some bitches are pressured.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sow done it, and I said, man, it'd be nice. If the sow dumped us on a boar hog. Sent bulldogs and I don't know. He was probably 220, 230 with some good teeth on him. I said, holy shit, that sow dumped us on a good boar. on him. And then he went back to the thicket and dumped us back on another freaking sow over there
That's pretty
from where we
wild.
jumped that group. I said, that son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
We ended up catching him. We rolled off that sow and caught him, but I was like, gosh, dang, it's crazy how they know that, you know?
It is. Yeah, they're like I said,
Well, they're
they're a lot smarter. So what's the numbers that you guys are catching out there? What's the most that you've ever caught in a hunt? Or a
Most we've ever
not
caught
it ain't
in a
got to be
hunt.
like a tournament hunt, but just in a hunt in general. What's the biggest number you've ever caught at one time?
In about 2.5 hours, we hunted a tournament 2 years ago on a place that I just got permission to hunt feed a bunch of cattle out there and a bunch of feed bunks. And we caught 42 hogs in 2.5 hours, or 42 or 43.
Good.
2.5 hours with 2 sets of dogs. We didn't catch nothing good, just all pretty much stringer hogs, but
Yeah.
they were, that place right there, I hadn't touched it since then, but that first time I'll have to text you some trail camera pictures. They had them feed bunk bull feeders.
Yeah.
They got, I don't know, 20 of them on one side of the ranch, and then across the highway another 20 or 30. But it's never been dogged before I got it.
Oh man.
Anywhere in that part of the country. So all them hogs were clueless to dogs. And we started hunting that morning, and we caught 2 or 3 hogs in the pens, and then rolled 75 yards, bay again. Catch that one, roll 40 yards, bay again. Catch that one, roll 100 yards, bay again. Roll 30 yards, bay again. Like dumb hogs, which don't ever have. That's once in a lifetime down here.
That don't happen.
And
Just like baying cows.
well, we
that
were
was
talking
just
to
on
Mr.
the-
John, and he was like, went to a new spot, hadn't been no dogs or anything on it. He said in at least 6 or 7 years. First hog we get on, that some bitch run 4 miles. I said, somebody's running them.
Yep. Oh yeah, 100%.
Somebody's running them. Then we got to digging around a little bit, and we found out there's a few guys running close there anyway. Might not be on that property, but it's around it.
Yeah.
But 42
he knows what dogs
hogs, 42
And that
pigs.
was on the south side of that highway. On the north side, all the bunks sit out in some fields, and the second you get out of the field, it's the neighbors, and I don't have permission around there, so we never mess around on the north side unless we're just trying to run them down and catch them, which it's still a short. You got like 300 yards, or probably less than that, probably 200 yards to run them down and catch them. So you got to be quick and quiet getting in there so they don't hear you. But you could go spotlight it or thermal it right now, probably later in the night. But it's nothing to see. And I have a video of it too, probably 100%, 300 plus head of hogs at them bunks every night. Nothing big because there's so many, is the problem. That's why it's not, I don't even hunt it for tournaments no more, because there'll be 300 hogs and only one of them be over 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many hogs. Well, you can go in there and it's ridiculous.
It's
crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Like we had one for us, it was it's a crazy amount. Like we caught 20, I think it was 21 that we put our hands on, and it was like 4 hours. And for us though, it was like that stuff you write a book about. It's like, holy shit. I couldn't imagine catching twice that many in half the time. That's just insane. Because we worked our ass off though. When the night was over, there was quite a few good hogs in there. There was no 300 pounders, but there was quite a few 180 to 220s.
Yeah.
And they will work a dog up. And we did it with the one pack of dogs that we had, and they were tired. And we were tired.
Oh yeah.
So But when you get in those big stringers like that, I bet you guys do really good in those, like in the tournaments.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And they were all stringer hogs. I don't even think, let's see, we hunted 2 tournaments at the same time. We didn't even place in one and got second in the other.
Yeah.
Out of all we had like 60 something hogs total, but out of all the hogs off that one place, just because there's so many, they can't just get bigger than what they are. They're all fighting with each other over food. And that bring back the rain thing is it's so dry down here. The only thing for a hog to eat right now is everything's dead, because of winter. We had that freeze.
Yeah.
The only thing for a hog to eat right now is literally a corn feeder or a feed bunk.
Damn.
That's it. Like, it's like the Sahara Desert out here.
I bet. I would like to come out. Like I said, now I've been to certain areas out there and hunted different things, but just to come out during this time of year to see it like that, because there's a lot of challenges that come with that. Like, you have to have a dog that's built for that. Not just any
country.
dog. Not just any dog will work. Like, I would love to think like my dogs would come out there and just blow it out of the water. But at the same time, we have higher humidity. We have more moisture in the air. Our tracks hold better. You guys don't have that. So
Yeah, down here,
would the dogs do any good at all?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this happened last summer. It was dry, and I'd like to think I got a pretty good set of dogs. I walked them up to a corn feeder with a boar hog standing underneath it. And they were probably 50 yards away, and they seen him, and he turned around and took off in the brush, and them dogs ran up there to that corn feeder and never could strike him. It was so dry.
Well,
Like, he turned and ran and kicked dust up, and dust sat in the air for 2 minutes after he left. So dry.
oh my
Just
God.
couldn't smell him.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do with that.
Like down
Just
here, like
blew away.
I don't ever like
It probably
cold
went
nosed
up.
dogs. Yeah, cold nosed dogs. I don't ever. No one down here brags about that. You got a cold nosed dog down here that could take whenever it's dry, take a 30-minute old track. You got a cold nosed son of a bitch, or just a good nose dog, because 6, 8, 10 hour old tracks. You ain't doing that an hour old track. You ain't doing that anywhere down here, unless it's after a rain, obviously.
Yeah.
But summertime, no.
It just
That-
wafts
you
off.
ain't doing it.
It just
See
goes
that?
away.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're one of the first people that we've had on that said that to what I think is correctly,
Mhm.
to what that holds true. But you look at the guys, okay, let's say South Dakota, Northern California, all these places like that, Michigan, the mountains. Well, they got these hounds that they throw on a 20-hour-old bear track or a 3-day-old lion track. Most of the time it's in the snow.
Yeah.
It's not dry ground with no humidity. That's a big difference. So cold nose there is way different than cold nose here.
Oh yeah.
And our cold nose is way different than, because my cold nose is 4 to 6 hours, and that's a hell of a dog. That's a lot of a dog. I hear people talk about 6 to 8, 10 hour tracks, and I've seen some dogs. I don't know how old the track was, but I know my dogs wouldn't mess with it, and those dogs would dig it out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's just a preference to the person, what type of dog they like, and also to where they hunt on what you can call cold nose.
And that's another thing, back to the amount of hogs that we got compared to other people, is you don't need a cold nosed dog down here.
Yeah, for what?
Why would I pull up to a corn feeder 4 hours later to try to cold nose a boar hog that was standing there, or even 2 hours, 45 minutes,
Yeah.
when I know I can rig around here and there's 75 hogs in this block of wood somewhere, So that, like, it's just like North Texas. I got some buddies where you were talking about earlier, where it's nothing but farm fields, and there's in 1,000 acres, there's going to be a 50-acre block of brush. That's where the hogs live. They've never even owned a strike dog or a brush dog, because they don't need to, because if they just wait till dark, all them hogs are going to come out in the farm field. So all they have is cur dogs that catch.
Yep.
They don't need a brush dog, because the country they hunt. Down here's, I got some dogs. They'll take a 2 or 3 hour old track, but that's after a really good rain, where scent sticks to the ground.
I wonder if you took those dogs to a place where the track conditions were a little better, if they how they would do taking an older track.
I've taken my dogs to Florida once, and they did way better than they did here in Florida.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Way better. And heck, while we were over there, it rained. I was over there for like 6 days. It rained like 12 inches in 6 days too.
Yeah.
My dogs were scared shitless.
Yeah, they didn't know. They were like, "We're going to drown, guys. I don't know what all this shit is."
They was
Be
like,
walking on the ground. They're like, "It's moving. It's
What?
soft."
What's wrong with this place?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, they
we're
were scared
sniffing
shitless.
and there's no dirt in my nose.
But that's what I just like y'all, I talk with a lot of people that have hog dogs just all over the southern part of the United States, and different country, different dogs.
That's right.
I don't need a cold nosed dog because I got the amount of hogs I got. I don't need a cast dog because the amount of hogs I got. Y'all need that sometimes.
Yep.
I don't.
And that's the thing. Like with us traveling, we've been trying to put together a whole pack that we can be successful anywhere we go. Maybe not be the best there by no means, because that's going to be one of those things I just don't know that you could do. But to be successful in all conditions and all terrains, and it's tough. It's tough to
You can
find
catch
enough
if you can
dogs to
catch
do it.
hogs in if you can catch hogs in southern Texas with your dogs, where I hunt, you can catch hogs anywhere. I promise.
I got you. Yeah, I think
I
it would be
promise.
myself. Yeah, I've always thought it would be tough to hunt there. Like I said, we've been down there hunting other stuff, and it's like, man, it's dry.
Yeah.
I didn't know
But
it was that dry, but
oh yeah,
I knew
it's
it was
dry.
dry.
It's dry now. Heck, we hadn't had an inch of rain in 6 months.
But I will
A
say
full
that
inch of rain. You know.
That's crazy.
yeah, shit, we got an inch of rain yesterday,
Monday.
Monday, yeah.
Or Sunday.
I'm not lying. We hadn't
Oh,
had.
I believe you.
Well, hell, if you count snow as, I guess you can. We've had more snow in the last 6 months than we have actual rain.
Oh yeah. But when we were down there in Taft, we were coming to where we going? We was going to CJ's. At Aransas Pass,
Mm-hmm.
and there was pigs running through the Walmart parking lot,
Yeah.
like right on the
Yep.
edge of it. I was like, "What?" I said, "What the hell's that?" He's like, "That's hogs." Because that's what I thought it was. I was like, he said it's like this. And then when we got like 2 blocks from his house, there goes pigs across the road. I was like, dude, like you will you know how many times we see hogs where we hunt that we actually see them?
Yeah, before we catch them.
Maybe once or twice a year, a whole year.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to ride around a field and see a hog.
That's crazy.
You're not. I don't give
There's
a
just so
damn how
much-
many fields you ride around.
Just so much timber, so much woods. There's
Yes.
so many places for them to go.
Oh,
It's the same thing. It's the same
nonstop.
thing down here, but we're so dry, so these hogs have to. Even if like your situation where they got a lot more stuff to eat where y'all are at besides corn, so that's why they
Yes.
don't mess with corn feeders very much. Down here, the only thing they got to eat is at a corn feeder or a deer, a protein feeder or a cow feeder or something.
Oh, I
So
believe that.
We can pull up to a corn feeder, and if there's just a group of sows and pigs there, hell, we'll turn around and go to another one. Oh, there's a 100-pound boar hog. We'll leave, go to another one. Oh, there's a good boar hog right there, and turn out and run him instead. But look at 40 hogs before we turn out.
We could never do that.
That's crazy.
Because like Rodney has shoot all of us. Like, because if Rodney sees a shoat, we fix to run that son of a bitch. Now, don't get me wrong, I love running stuff, but how many times you can ask
Rodney-
Nate, I'll be like, look,
Rodney is
we are
still,
running a shoat. Pull the dogs, call the damn dogs, put them in the truck, let's go to the house.
Rodney is
Yeah.
still as excited as the first time he went hog hunting.
Yes.
I truly believe that. Which is sometimes the most fun thing in the world, and sometimes like that. So it's like a damn show. And it's like, I don't want to fuck that little pig, or like you see a sow or something. It's like, let's see if we can at least find a bigger track. Like we know this track's gonna be here. We
Yeah.
got time. Like because like we usually like the track will stay there for a while. That we could ride back. Should probably just ride over there.
Yeah. I mean, you get a big
Yeah.
boar hog, you got a good track, or say we got a couple of places. We got one spot that we hunt that you'll probably see a hog every 8 or 10 trips. You'll see one cross the road, and usually it's going to be wide open, just boom, across the road. But if it's a good boar hog, then I can go ride around a little bit, then come back. I know about where he's going to go, and then I can just ease around and try to rig him. And then if we don't rig him, then I can cast to him.
Yeah.
So it's like no big deal. But like if I see shoats and a sow across the road, it's like I don't even really want to turn to it unless I got some pups. And then we take whatever comes along,
Yeah, sure, yeah.
because
down
we got
here,
to.
Yeah, it's different now. Just because the amount of hogs, it boils back to just that point. We got so many hogs, and you can be picky, and we are a lot. I got just them field dogs, and we'll go thermal 50,000 acres worth of farmland in one night, and pull up to a cut cornfield, and there'll be 100 head of hogs out there. When that thermal, if there ain't one out there that looks like he's over 250, hell, screw them hogs. Let's go find a big one.
I'd be doing the
We can be
same
picky because
thing.
we got so damn many hogs. And you get that thermal and you turn off the lights on the Can-Am and do about 60 miles an hour out there to them. spotlight the biggest one, cut him off of the group, bulldog him, and then turn the thermal back on and thermal the second biggest one running away from you and go bulldog him too. And you caught the 2 biggest out of the 100 head of hogs out there. And then, you can be picky because the amount of hogs we got, it's crazy.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I would be the same way. I really would.
Yeah. Most of our fields, which we can't hunt most of them for tournaments just because they're all net wire. And mainly, I say net wire, low fence net wire.
Yeah.
A lot of our fields are high fence too because we have down here, the deer do just as much damage as hogs do on fields. So a lot of fields are high fenced in, 200 acre pivot with a high fence around it. Well, heck, you get hogs coming into it. We just throw a cell camera on it. Whenever they come into the hole, we sneak over there and put a panel on it. You catch every hog in the field.
Yeah. I was going to say.
They can't get out.
Yeah, you got it. You got it whoop there.
Yeah, they can't get out. You catch every single one of them.
But now,
tie every one of them.
Now, you brought up something there, like doing the tournaments and stuff and hunting. I know you guys hunt, maybe not in tournaments, but like you have high fences, right?
Yeah.
What kind of acreage is on these high fence places?
I'll tell you right now, for anybody that has never messed with any high fences, hogs are 100 times harder to catch in a high fence.
Yes.
Than they are anywhere else if you've never messed with hogs in a high fence. But anywhere from, to answer your question, 100 acres up to 50,000.
Yeah.
Bigger than that. I got one place that's 64,000 acres high fence.
Good.
That's just got a high fence all the way around it. No high fences in the middle. 64,000 acres high fence.
Holy shit. And that's the thing about it, because I've had people call when we done tournaments and stuff, and they're like, well, what about high fence? I'm like, look, if it's over 5,000 acres, I don't care. It's fine. Then I've had other people, they're like, well, if they're in a high fence, blah, blah, blah. I said, how many acres are you hunting? And they're like, well, all I've got is 3,000 acres. And I'm like, well, they're hunting damn near twice as much as you are.
Yeah.
Are the hogs hard to catch in a 1,000 acre block? Yes. Here they are. So some places in 5,000 acres, they're hard. But you get on like a 10 or 15 or 20,000 acre place, there's management areas that aren't that big.
Yeah.
There's game reserves that are not that big. So imagine hunting that whole place and trying to catch hogs on it. So I'm like, yeah, it's different because the pressure as well, I would imagine, plays a big factor.
Oh, 100%. I got a 640 acre place that's high fenced that my family owns, and there's probably 400 acres of brush on it. And I will kiss anybody's ass if they can come turn out and catch the boar hog that lives in that sumbitch.
I bet.
he's a run circles, and you can't fresh pack him either. Turn your dogs out and run them, because I guarantee you he will run for 24 hours straight.
We know a place just like that. It's about 500 acres, and I promise you, I have humbled so many big, cocky, smart mouth bastards. Well, I'll go over there. Blah, 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 blah. We go over there, and their dog can't even get him jumped. And when they do get him jumped, shit, they ain't built for that.
No, they don't understand is that hog.
He lives there.
He knows every single trail on that ranch. Every single trail, every single water hole, every single route, every little thicket,
every tree
he
top.
knows it up and down. Yes.
If he gets a jump on him and he gets 100 yards ahead of him, they are not catching him.
Yeah. No, hell no.
I don't care how fast they are. Like you said, some of these bastards will run 20 hours, 24 hours. And your dogs are they're going to reach a peak, and then they're going to start slowing down.
Yep.
And those dogs are running. They're running to catch this hog or running to bay this hog. They're running for you. That hog's running for his life.
Yep. Exactly.
That's the difference. That son of a bitch, he cannot lose the race.
There's a reason why pigs spread so rapidly. They love being alive. They really are not a fan of dying.
No.
They are incredibly tough.
Yep. And that's why, like you were saying, I got a place that's 10,000 acres high fence that we hunt for tournaments, and I'll call and ask, some place has no high fence. All right, well, can I hunt this place? It's 10,000 acres. Some hogs that live on one side of it don't even know there's hogs on the other end.
Yep.
And they are just as hard to catch. They don't ever hit the high fence or, run circles in the corner of the high fence. They leave, they can still go 4 miles in one direction,
Yep.
And then they'll be like, all right, well, it's got to be like you said, 5,000 acres minimum.
Yep.
Well, then I also got a place that's 640 acres. You got a place that's 500 acres where if I could hunt it in the tournament, I ain't,
Yeah, it's like, I'm not going there.
I don't want to hunt that son of a bitch.
Hell no. The only reason we ever went to it, because like the only time we ever went was deer season.
Mm-hmm.
Or when somebody was running their mouth, I'd be like, okay, let's ride over here this weekend. But anyway, we go during deer season and we would take puppies. And it was to teach them how to run. Because very seldom would we ever catch a pig. Like, I mean, seriously, like there was, now years and years ago, I'd say 15 years ago, at one point, we had like the record for most hogs caught there in a weekend. And I think we caught 12. And that was, I mean, like I'm telling you, it was a lot. And it was inside 500 acres or less. And I had that same outlook at first. I was like, dude, we're going to a fence. Like literally, we're gonna catch everything in there. Bullshit.
Yeah. You have a mindset like that. Like, we're gonna catch everything in there. Where's it gonna go? It can't run from us.
Dude, they will burn
my
you
ass.
up.
And that's the thing too, that 500 acres, like you're talking about, that one hog, you might jump him and run him 17 different times over the top of his own track.
Oh yeah.
You're making them dogs work.
When
I get
go ahead.
People down here where I'm at, this happens all the time. 24/7, probably 50 times a year. I will catch a good hog, and people will literally tell me, all you hunt is high fence. It's like, no, I try not to hunt a high fence. For example, like you just said, I'll go to a high fence during deer season where I know they can't get out, just keeping dogs legged up. I'm good friends with the owners, That's why I hunt a high fence most of the time, but I don't catch all these good hogs in high fences, and I prefer not to hunt a high fence because they're hard to catch.
Why would you want to go somewhere that they're going to run in a circle when you could go to a feeder and pick out which boar hog you want to catch right there? Why would you even? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But those are the people that have never turned out in a high fence that hogs have been messed with just a few times. You mess with them one time. Yeah. Put him in there for 6 months, run him one time. He's going to know that whole damn place. And he's going to double back 13 times and run his track 12 times, and you're not going to catch him. And he's going to come across the road running 4 miles an hour with his mouth wide open. And I don't care if you got a dog biting him on the ass, he still ain't going to stop. He ain't going to stop. You said it to a T, brother, because like there was a group of hogs they brought in, and they were all big bay pen stock. And they brought them in, and you could tell these hogs were big, overweight, big bruisers. I mean, these were 350 up. I mean, monsters. And the first month or so, we bayed several of them. We caught a couple of them. No big deal. Well, after 6 months, we didn't see them. And after 4 years, they were trying to pay us to come catch them so we could give them vaccinations. They were like, we don't even know where they're at. And it's inside a freaking fence in 500 acres. The guys didn't even know where they're at. Every now and then, like when they would go feed hogs, it was in an open field. They would go down there and just take a truck. Most of the hogs would come out, except for the big boys. They would stay. They'd stay in the pine thickets, and they'd watch. And like you very seldom would see them, and then they just catch on to shit real quick.
Yep. Heck, that back. Not this past August, but the August before. The biggest hog I ever caught in my life. He's on 1,000 acres. They deer hunt it every weekend of deer season. They turkey hunt it, walk all over the place. They do everything. And we went in there and turned out we caught a boar hog and then jumped ran a group for a little bit and pulled up to a protein feeder. This is like right before daylight or so. And there was a boar hog standing under the protein feeder. They've never been dogged before. And sent 2 dogs down there to him, bait him under the feeder, tied him right there, had a 3-legged little jip, go about 80 yards, sit down and baited. Sent a few pups to her that I had with me, and they were baying. So, all right, sweet. I sat there and let them bay for 15 minutes. I had like 3 young dogs out there baying. I was like, let's take advantage of it. So, all right, so we got bulldogs, got about 30, 40 yards away, sent bulldogs. everything was still banned, ran in there, and as a boar hog, he ended up weighing 430.
Wow.
But just imagine how long it took for him to get that big and that old in that high fence, and they didn't know he existed in there. And they fly a survey twice a year for deer to count deer in the high fence.
Yeah, that old boy's pretty slick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
mean,
people don't realize how old these hogs are that we're killing or we're catching. These big hogs, these 300, 350s
Yep.
with big
Yep.
teeth. I don't think they really realize how old they are.
Yeah.
I was talking earlier about speaking to my uncle the other day about this, and that's what he said. He said nowadays, even with all the social media that all these hog hunters have, and they post everything they catch, you're not seeing. He literally told me, he said it was, once a week, at least 2 or 3 times a month, we were catching boar hogs that were over 350. And he said nowadays you don't hardly see that on Facebook, and you got 5,000 friends.
That's right.
They'll catch, but the problem is there's 3 million times as many hog hunters, and the hogs could get age on them. With the time he hunted, he was the only hog dogger around here. Him and one or maybe 2 other guys. So half the county never even got touched. Well, if you got a place you could go over there and hunt, heck, you catching a 300-pound hog because he's 10, 12, 15 years old.
Yep. Yep. You get these hogs that are 200 pounds. Just we'll say like the 180 to 200. There's a lot of folks that are like, well, that's a grown hog and blah blah blah. I've caught several hogs just in the past year or two that was, I don't know, what do you think, Nate? Last year we caught several that was 200 to 240 and had teeth that were like an inch long.
Yeah.
Some of them they really look like baby teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So how old are these hogs is what I'm saying. Like, these are not big mature hogs. They're big hogs, but they're not old.
Nope.
Yeah.
So, they don't have the 3.5 inch teeth that are inch and a quarter wide, big blades. They got little needle teeth sticking out. And, so it's like, these hogs 3 years old or are they 13 years old?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I know the oldest hog I've ever caught, and the only reason I know this is because he was, I don't know how old he was. He was me, my brother, and another boy, an older Mexican guy. I was probably, I don't know, 9 or 10. My brother's a year older than me. We were horseback, and that older Mexican guy, he roped about a 40-pound boar hog, paint hog, off a horse one day while we were working cattle. Cut him, and turned him back loose, and me and my brother caught that same exact hog 11 years later.
Yep.
And there's no one that dogs around any of that country. But he was drawn up. He had the frame to be a 350-pound hog if he was filled all the way out. But he was, he was 6 foot long and 4 foot tall, but drawn up and probably weighed 180, 200 pounds. Big old, probably 4-inch teeth, 4.5-inch teeth. But I know he was 11 and a half years old. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah. Like I said, there's a big, the hog we caught last year before last, had the biggest set of cutters that we've caught in Alabama. And this hog was roughly I'm going to stretch it even and say 200. That's putting some on him. I would think. I'm going to say 185 is what he really weighed. But he had the frame of a probably 275-pound hog or better.
Yeah.
But his head was massive. But like you said, his body just started drawing up. His feet were huge, but everything about him done drawed up. I don't know how old the hog was, but I'm going to say he's the oldest hog I've ever caught. Yeah. But now I've researched and read and all these things, and I mean 20 years is very possible on the age.
Oh, I bet that too.
Or longer.
Will you catch any hogs that old nowadays? No, not a chance.
I just don't think you would. Yeah, I don't think you will. That was a question I actually had was, like managing hogs, managing the herd of hogs that you have, like barring them and Do you take a certain number of sows, or do you try to knock out a bunch of shoats or whatever? How do y'all handle that?
So most of our, which we tie almost every boar hog we catch, if it's close to the road, we'll drag. If he's not close to a road where we can't drag him out, we'll cut him and turn him back right there. And if he's close to a road, load him up and take him to a high fence or take him somewhere and dump him out somewhere. The sows, if we catch any sows that look pretty poor or older or, just kind of sorry looking, we'll kill. Any healthy sows, we turn back loose.
I got you.
And a sow down here where I'm at, if you catch a 175-pound sow, I mean, that's a big ass sow where I'm at. Like that's going to be your top 5 for the year. Unless it's at like a feed off a feed bunk or something that's making her get over that, some crazy amount of food. But just your regular country, I mean, 175-pound sow is a big bitch where I'm at.
What's the biggest sow you've caught?
Oof. $290 gutted.
Oh, that's a big sow.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. But I caught her in she was a barren sow. She was the only hog in about 150 acres and been in there, no telling how long on a deer protein.
Oh yeah.
And she ran like a boar hog too. It took about 2 hours to catch her. Circles and circles and circles, but I was fresh packing her too.
Hell yeah. We've caught a few pretty big sows. We've caught there for a couple of years. Seemed like every month we were catching at least one sow that was 250 plus for a few years. Like it was every month. And then it got down to where we wasn't catching hardly any real big sows. Mm-hmm. And in the past 5 years, we've caught a couple that were pretty good size, but we caught that one real big. We were with Carter, Ryan, and Jacob and them.
Yeah, now she was like 300.
Yeah, she was
at least.
Was it a yellow sow?
Yeah, that big blonde one.
Yeah. I remember seeing her.
She was a toad.
She's just so fat.
Yeah, you couldn't hardly even pull her legs together to tie her. She was well over 300. I mean, hell, she had teeth an inch and a half long.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's a good sow.
Yeah, she was a good sow.
When you got a doctor up on your dogs from a sow, she's good.
Yeah, you found you a serious one.
Yeah. We made a good one last year, and so like I was talking about having to kill everything here, if we catch it, but if we don't catch it, then legally we don't have to kill it. So. Mm-mm. There's sometimes we'll get the dogs bayed up and then we'll just go in there and call the dogs and let the hog go on about his business.
Yep.
Yeah. And we bait up a real good one with the Bourgeois brothers. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much she weighed. Like I said, we didn't weigh her or anything, but she was a mean. When I say mean, this bitch was mean. So I'd say she was 220. She was built really well. She's a couple 100 pounds. To me, that's a big, pretty good size sow.
Yeah. I can go catch some big sows, but I save those to try to win buckles and money with. But those are also on feed bunks and stuff like that,
Yeah. So on the now in the area you're in, do they have a lot of tournaments down there?
There's quite a few. There's quite a few tournaments. There's probably 6 or 8 within an hour drive of where I live. They go on every year.
What about like bay pens and stuff? Anything that I know they had one in Nixon.
That's the closest one to me.
I got you.
And Nixon, I don't even know how far that is. I'll tell you right now.
I don't remember.
Nixon Smiley, ain't it?
Yeah.
Nixon
at the
Smiley.
livestock arena.
2 hours from me.
Oh, okay.
That's the closest one to me.
Okay, well, that's not too
long. There used to be one in about 20, 30 minutes down the road, and they did that for a few years, and then I don't know why they quit doing it.
Do you remember the name of it?
Man, I couldn't tell you.
I don't know.
Hell, I never. They did it for like 3 or 4 years, and I never even went to it.
I got you.
But yeah, that also been. They did it for 3 or 4 years, but that was also 5 years ago. Last time they done it. But Nixon Smiley's the closest one.
I got you. Yeah, we have to travel everywhere for that kind of stuff. It sucks. Yeah, I mean, like the closest one is going to be 4.5 or 5 hours from us. That's going to be the closest.
Gosh dang.
Oh yeah.
I got 30 boar hogs in a round pen right now. Whenever it gets full, I'll load them in a gooseneck, go put them somewhere.
Yeah.
That's crazy how y'all can't transport hogs like we can.
Yeah, I know, man. I wish we could. But then again, like you said, it's one of them deals where people that make these laws, I just don't think they understand what's really going on.
Yeah.
I don't know any way to make them understand it unless somebody's there, and that falls on us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd love to be there bitching and griping at them.
Down here, they're just so damn many, nobody really cares anymore.
I imagine not. I don't think I couldn't see where people would get offended or get mad because you were running dogs or thermal in or whatever, because
don't get me wrong, there are them landowners that no, you're not coming out here because they'll run my deer or they'll mess with my cows or there's a few of them down here. But heck, then you tell them, well, heck, I hunt every place around you. My dogs end up in there. Yeah. All right, I guess you can go get them. Or come on, tag along with me one time. Let me take you hunting. Let me prove it to you. Catch, a handful of hogs. Oh, okay, dang, now you can hunt. I just never been showed or anything,
Yeah, that's good there to invite them or take them along, let them tag along. Man, that's the ticket.
Yeah. Or sometimes it's asked backwards where someone already been in there hog dogging and ruined it for everyone else, or they did catch a cow or did down. So the high fence places down here that we got, 90% of them got exotics. And I'm talking zebra, wildebeest, axis, black buck, fallow, all kinds of stuff. So whenever people from out of town come hunt with me, I tell them, like, your dog's got it. And it's hard 90% of the time too, because especially them boys in Florida, whenever they came, I told them, now how trash broke are y'all's dogs? They won't mess with nothing but a hog. I said, well, have they ever seen a zebra before? Have they ever seen a buffalo or like literally anything? Because a lot of these places we're going to hunt have 50 different species of game in it. Well, no, they've never seen none of that. But people also get scared and, well, gosh dang, what if I catch one of them? I tell them, well, if you got a real hog dog, zebra don't smell like a hog.
That's correct.
Everybody gets scared of javelinas. We got thousands of them down here. And people ask me all the time, you ever catch a javelina? I've never in my life caught a javelina. They look identical to a hog, but they don't smell like a hog,
Yeah.
And
I don't know. I don't know what the smell would be, though.
They stink.
What's the difference? I was trying to think, because I killed a javelina when we were down there.
They got that big scent gland like on top of their hip.
Skunk.
Yeah, they got that big wart on their back.
Yes.
Oh, they're nasty ass animals.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know they're closer related to a rat than they are a hog.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
They're nasty animals, and they will.
I thought they were bigger. I really did. I thought they were going to be bigger, but they. Honestly, I'm glad that they're not bigger because those dudes got some wild looking teeth.
Oh yeah, the difference between them and a hog, which I'm sure y'all know, but a lot of people don't, is like a hog throws his head to cut anything, or a dog, or javelinas bite, and I got some crazy stories about javelinas. So whenever they'll come down here on some places if they hear a dog, they're coming to a dog barking. And the reason that sucks whenever, and I've witnessed this with a few boys from North Texas that don't have javelinas, is they'll go to chasing a dog while they're trying to bite them. And 99% of the time, they're biting the Achilles tendon on the dog.
Yeah.
You know, they don't throw their head and cut like a hog does. They just bite the shit out of everything. Hell, they got 2-inch teeth on top and 2-inch teeth on bottom, and they will mess the dog up for good. But as long as they don't smell like a hog, so they shouldn't mess with them.
Yeah, I agree.
True,
It's
true.
If it's not a hog, then don't mess with it.
Yep.
Y'all have a lot of skunks.
Oh, yeah.
Or porcupines.
Yeah,
Y'all have porcupines?
We do, but I've never gotten into one. We don't have very many. I bet it's been a year since I've seen a porcupine. And they live on the river bottoms, but I'm going to guess the reason why I hadn't seen very many in such a long time is because all our rivers are dry.
Yeah.
And that's the only places we got oak trees. And see, down here, that's the only place for a porcupine to live, big in a hole in an oak tree somewhere on a river bottom. That's the only place I've ever seen them in my life. And our rivers have been dry for so long, I think they've just slowly moved out. We have them, but I only see one a year, 2 a year.
Yeah, that's.
And I've never had a dog mess with a porcupine before, thank God.
Nice things. Them dudes right there do some damage on the dog. I've never had one, but like we were in, like I've raised a little dog terriers or jags, whatever you want to call them, and had a bunch of friends of mine, and they've dealt with porcupines for so long. Those little jags or patterdales, the little terriers, of course, they don't have no quit in them. They just want to get and bite whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I think Lance Criswell, him and Gus, I couldn't tell you how many times he's had to take that dog to the vet or how many times he's sat and pulled quills. It's ridiculous. But I know them things they're tough on the dog. I'm glad we don't have it.
Yeah, I've witnessed it. I was a kid hunting with an old man that got a dog get into a porcupine, had quills all over him. And I said, oh yeah, I hope I never get into that. And I never have. Thank God.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, well, I was trying to see what else we got here. I had these questions wrote down earlier. I've about got all of them that I had on here. I was trying to see if I had anything else. Social media, that's something. Social media, what's your outlook on the social media stuff for what we do? Like for hog hunting, the way that we hunt with dogs. Give us your point of view on that and what we could do to improve it and to keep it from, being any worse.
Just for y'all, or just
for in general? In general, yeah. Especially for newer hunters, especially for guys who are out there that's just getting going good. What do they need to do on their social media stuff?
I promote the hell out of a lot of hogs I catch. But one thing I've never done, and one thing I preach to a lot of people, and there's a few boys around town that I hunt with that are up and coming, and never, and this is my opinion, well, I would never and never have ever post a dog that's cut in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And there's some boys that I know that hunt, every time they get a dog gutted, it's the first thing they put on Snapchat, and it gets shared on Facebook, and it's like, hey, dude, there's a million people that don't like dog hunting. Why are you putting that out there for everybody to see?
Amen.
They don't need to see that. Don't put that on social media. Yeah, that happens to all of us, but keep it to yourself. Don't share it like it's a good thing, but other than that, I mean, keeping all the graphic stuff from dogs or stuff like that off of social media where other people or people that aren't experienced don't know it is better, I think.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's and with the whole thing about the dogs, same thing with us. Like that's something I just don't think anybody should ever show.
No.
It just, I mean, even if it was like, you went out, made a late night run and lost the dog. Look, we understand it happens. Post a good story about the dog and what it's done in the past. Put some pictures like that. Don't show that dog beat up. Just don't do it. no matter what it is. We try not to show anything with any blood or anything on it. Of course, now you got to watch what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've learned that just for hunting, just hunting in general. Like since I hunt for a living, like even on whitetail, any kind of animal I prop up, every whitetail or everything I kill that I prop up, besides like hogs if I got them tied and stuff, but like whitetail, any kind of exotic, the first thing I do is cut their tongue out so their tongue ain't hanging out of their mouth, looking all dead and everything. Wipe clean all the blood off of them, because all that does is add more fuel to the fire for people that don't understand it or comprehend or anything like that. Now, you shoot a deer and the bloody side is what you got in the pictures. Tongue's hanging out. He's got blood all over his face. The best you can do is clean him up a little bit,
Yep.
That's what I've always done. And like you just said, the dog situation,
Yeah,
they don't understand it. It's hard to explain if they don't even listen. But
yeah, that's good luck with a lot of that shit.
Agreed.
yeah.
And,
But don't add fuel to the fire.
There you go. Well, you got anything else you want to add to this one, Austin? We got about an hour and 40 minutes on this.
Yeah.
Pretty good episode there, though.
I'm trying to think.
I like a lot of the stuff we've talked about tonight, though, for real. Like just the point of views that you made, like talking about the difference in the terrain and the lack of humidity, or therefore more humidity, and how the dogs would perform and stuff. There's a lot of things there that there's some people that discuss it openly like that, but a lot of people, they don't even make it to that. They just make it about themselves is what it winds up being, about how good their dog is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to, maybe we can put together a hunt and come out and see how they do. And maybe you guys come out here and hunt some of these hills with us.
I'm down to travel. I'll travel. One place I ain't hunted is Georgia.
I got you. We're in Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah. Well, we got some spots right around Georgia we could slide over into.
I guarantee you.
We ain't 2 hours from Georgia. Somewhere in there.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Texas. Heck, I'm 10 hours from Louisiana where I'm at.
You're 10 hours from everything in Texas. Even in Texas, I was talking. That's what, when we went to Tyler out there to the Boars Nest for one of the first terrier trials. And I was talking to a buddy of mine, the one with the porcupine dog with Lance. I was like, how long does it take you to get here? He was like, well, about 8.5, 9 hours. I think it's what he told me. Don't hold me to it. And I was like, damn, I thought you lived in Texas. He said, I do. I said, damn, it took you as long to get here as it did me to come across 3 states. He said, yeah. He said, I still got another half a state to go. I said, good Lord.
Dang. Yeah, I was talking to a guy about hunting there's some predator contest or something. And he asked me where I'm at. And I told him, heck, I'm 10 hours. I can still go 10 hours south to the bottom of Texas, and I can go 10 hours north before I go out of Texas. If you started on one end, it's almost a full day's travel to get out of the state of Texas from south to north.
Yeah,
almost 24 hours.
24 hours, yeah.
It almost is.
That's right.
Like from here to like them boys that I hunt with in Florida, it's I'm pretty sure it's like 13 and a half hours to the panhandle of that boy's house from here. I've done it 3 or 4 times driven. Last few times I've flown.
Yeah.
But heck, 3 hours of the drive is driving through Louisiana, Alabama, and then Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yeah, you'll come right across. Yeah, you'll come right across. Well, maybe a little Mississippi too, because like there'll be Louisiana, then it'll run right into the little the thumb on Mississippi, and then the thumb on Alabama.
Yeah,
you'll come across. Because the way
I
it's laid out,
I can do that in 3 or 4 hours, and heck, the other 8 or 10 is driving from here to Louisiana.
Yeah. It's Texas is huge, man. It's crazy. Pretty wild, ain't no doubt. So, well, pack that wagon up and come out and hunt with us sometime.
Yes, sir. I'll be there soon. I'm sure. I like to go hunt other country just like y'all do, like we talked about, and
Yeah, it's
just
fun.
watch dogs work, and see what they're better at in different places.
Yeah, 'cause you can't ever tell. I mean, you might have
Might be surprised.
you might have a little golden egg there you don't even know about. Like you said,
Yeah,
your dogs did good in Florida. Our dogs might do great out there. Then again, they might not do nothing. So I don't
No,
know.
I'd be willing to bet, as hard as it is, it's hard with the amount of hogs y'all have, which compared to mine ain't very many. I
Yeah.
bet y'all could tear up some hogs down here where I'm at, just because you can find them a lot easier.
Yeah.
The dogs wouldn't. What I'm getting at is the dogs wouldn't have to work, but half as hard.
Yeah, that'd be great because like there's some days, man, them boys they come back and their old ass is dragging, and I feel bad. I'm like, damn, dude, you ran 35 miles today, and we ran one hog or caught one hog. It's like, and they've been working hard. I mean, hard.
Yeah.
Pet them a lot.
Y'all
Pet
would
'em
have a
lot.
blast down here.
Hell yeah.
Y'all would love it down here where
Well-
I'm at. Well, heck, almost every time we go, I'm not bragging or anything, but just the difference is we can go catch 10 hogs in 10 miles every time we go.
Yeah,
know?
you making it hard. Doris, I can tell you that because my little wheels are spinning. I'm like, when
How do
can
I
we
get
go?
here?
Well, y'all take a week off and come down here.
All right, we'll do
I got
that.
plenty of kennel space.
All
And I
right,
got plenty of camps between all these ranches I hunt, and I promise I got plenty of land to hunt.
I know. Case Frida's, he's like, dude, he said you need to come down here and hunt with us.
Oh yeah, I met up with him yesterday, bullshitting with him
Yeah,
last night.
I told him I said, man, we're gonna make it down there. So I'll have to plan it out where we can all go hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I get all the way down there and I don't go hunt with Case, then he'll probably neuter me.
He's a gosh dang. He's like I don't even know what to describe Case. I promise he don't do drugs, but you'd think he was a fucking crackhead.
Yeah, he's wound tight. There ain't no doubt.
God,
How's he
dang.
doing with his
I
coyote
promise
hounds?
Holy shit! He's doing good.
He called me. He said, man, I know you know what I need. Do you know anybody at all? I said, yeah. I said, I got somebody. And I hooked him up with Mike Satt, which I called Mike myself and told Mike, I said, look, I said, this guy right here, I said, he's a friend of mine. I said, he's a houndsman. And I promise you, these dogs are going to be put to work. Mike said, okay.
He's a damn good houndsman.
He told me, Mike said, tell him, call me. And, Mike told me, he said, well, this is what I asked for, this and that. And I said, look, you ain't got to tell me nothing, but he gave him a good, the good buddy deal, the good friend deal. And I know what those dogs are. I know what Hash Brown would do. I know what his daughter would do. We drove up to Michigan in the Upper Peninsula and hunted with this guy, and he's come down here hunting with us for years. And he was talking about it, and I was like, I wonder how these dogs are going to do down there, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the comparison about like the hogs, because like where Mike and them are at, the coyotes are thin, and where you guys are at, there's a lot of coyotes.
Oh hell, I was talking to Case last night, and we sat there and bullshitted for probably 30 minutes just about his dogs. He's catching coyotes with his dogs, but heck, just in footholds with bait and stuff, hell, he catches 40 to 60 coyotes every week and a half.
Damn.
They're like
Yeah.
fleas down here.
Oh,
It's
I know.
crazy.
It's wild. Yeah, it's crazy. I know next
Yeah,
week
and
we're
Case
going to
too, he's
Oklahoma. We're going out there with Rusty Mayshore, and I think we're going to do. I think he's going to do some. I don't know if we're going to do some decoying or some calling. We're going to do something with some coyotes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen that decoy besides videos. I'd love to witness that with my own eyes.
Well, the only issue that we have with the decoying is like, the dog goes out, tinkers back and forth. They play a little song and a little dance, and then you get up closer and somebody shoots the coyote.
Yeah.
I don't want to shoot nothing. I want to turn that bulldog loose on that bastard and hang him,
Maybe two of them.
or a couple of them. And I
It
actually,
don't have to be fair.
it ain't even got to be a bulldog. Like we've got run and catch dogs. I got some run and catch dogs. If that some
Put the
bitches don't get
wolfhound on
that
him.
close, I got an Irish wolfhound that'll pick him up and just walk around with
I
him.
don't know how we're gonna get him to sit
Yeah.
still.
If it
Yeah.
runs from him, he's caught.
Dude, yeah,
I caught one last year. I ran a coyote down with a rough cur dog last year and caught him and tied him and cut his nuts, turned him back loose. It was funny.
Hey, that's some population control, brother.
Yeah, it
I
was
think that's
funny
a
as hell. Me
first,
and my little cousin, we were running through this peanut field with a spotlight, and we just got lucky and got right up behind a coyote. And that one dog in the box he could see through the buggy from the back, and he's whining. I said, I wonder if that somebody will catch him. And this cur dog is fast. He's for a cur dog, he's the fastest cur dog I've ever seen. And I said, hell, I'll dump the box on him. We'll figure it out. We dumped the box, and he went out there and stretched his ass, got up there, tied him, zip tied his mouth, tied ropes around his legs. My little cousin looked down. I think he's like 13 at the time, 14 or something. He's like, well, what are we going to do now? I said, well, cut his nuts, put squares in his ears, and turn him back loose.
We're going to bar him and mark him, boys.
Bar him, mark him, and turn him back loose. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
That's what we done.
That might be what we have to do at Rusty's. We might have to damn bar and mark one. I wonder if Rusty's ever done it. Be like, Rusty, you ever barred and marked a cousin? He's going to say, what the hell are y'all talking about?
Yeah.
That's
we
awesome.
trying to put weight on these mangy coyotes out
Hell
here.
yeah. We're going to fatten them up.
It's funny.
Hell yeah. Oh, well, Austin, I think that's pretty good there, brother. I appreciate it, man. We appreciate you coming on tonight.
Yes, sir.
That's a damn good story right there to leave it on. And I'm sure we're going to be talking more in the future.
Most definitely.
And we're definitely going to come down that way.
For sure.
100%. Just don't
Y'all
know.
just say
We'll just
when.
have to figure it out. Yeah. I would
Y'all
say
when. I got plenty of
rainy season.
country, even deer season.
I was going to say we'd come down there in the rainy season, but
The best time for that is springtime.
I was fixing to say, if it's going to rain like that week, call me and I'll make arrangements, because then we could hold a track.
Yeah. Oh, that's when it rains, we're hunting, and I'm talking serious hunting, because that's all we only get to do that 3 or 4 times a year, and we are cutting these shit out of some tracks.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we might have to do that. So, well, man, like I said, appreciate everything. Thanks for your time. Thanks for jumping on here. It was kind of a short notice thing today. We were talking. I was like, Nate messaged me. He's like, hey, you got somebody? I was like, hey, you know what? So I got somebody I've been wanting to talk about or talk to. So
yeah.
It all worked out good. Like I said, appreciate it. Thank you for supporting us, and thank you for doing the things that you do in the hog dog community and the hog hunting world. I try to keep up with you on Instagram as much as I can. And, so just keep on doing the deal.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. I damn sure enjoyed it, and
Yes,
and talked about everything we did. It was some good conversations, and I'm down to do it again.
All right.
Yes, sir.
We'll damn sure do. What we'll have to do, we have to get one like, what, maybe when y'all do one of these tournaments or something like that in the future or something, maybe get you and the team. We can have several people call in and talk all at one time, or if we're out there, we sit down and do a big podcast and have everybody on there at one time talking shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We can do it.
Have a beer time segment.
That'll be pretty dang good. I guarantee you that.
It's always good. We don't get to do them very often, but boy, when we do, they're good. All right, amigo. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good night. We'll
Thank you,
see you.
Austin.
Yes, sir. Adios.
10-4. That's all right.
Good.
I learned something new on the coyotes. Barm and Markham, boys. Barm and Markham. So I thought that's pretty awesome. I do. You can tell he's got a lot of knowledge. He's got a good outlook on things. He looks at them in reality.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like, oh, I'm down here, my dogs can do this and that, and all. It's like, I wonder what your dogs or how
these are the conditions of what I got, and so I need a dog that can meet these conditions.
I like that.
Yep.
I do. I really like that. 'Cause like he's talking about, cold nosed dog for what?
What for?
Then you hear other guys that are like, man, I need me a cold nosed dog. What? Why would you need that? Like, are you not catching 30 hogs already? So. Well, 10-4, man, we appreciate y'all listening out there. I want to say thank you again. And y'all make sure to keep up with us. As I say in all these episodes that we do, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and do all that good shit. Make sure you hit all our social media stuff. Get onto YouTube. Check us out there. Y'all make sure to listen to us every single time Nathan puts up a podcast. Make sure you listen to it 27 times in a row. You know what I'm saying, homies? And Ben, we'll have some new stuff coming out here pretty soon. We're going to be doing a little traveling again on the road. We might be able to do a little podcast, sit down here and there, maybe a little beer time episode. Have it get that crunk back up. We'll have a couple of events coming up the next month. We got 2 or 3 Rusty Bay Shores coming up. Then we got Tulsa Standard Hunt end of February. Then we got Uncle Earl's coming up. Got a bunch of stuff happening. So y'all out there in the dog hunting world, y'all get busy. Y'all come see us. We appreciate it. We out.
Thank you. Hope y'all enjoyed that episode. Stay tuned for our new episodes every Monday and Wednesday. For questions, advertising, or just to chat, email DixieDoggers01@gmail.com.